This is Joseph Toko. I'm at MoCCA Fest 2014 on behalf of Becca Hilburn's Art Process blog, Keep on Truckin' Natto Soup. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Isabelle, and also I do Namesake.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about Namesake? It started as an online comic, correct?
Yeah, well, it's still an online comic.
Right.
Namesake, in general, the story is kind of like a fairy tale version of Quantum Leap. It's about people who have the power to travel to other worlds linked to the name. So all Alice's go to Wonderland, all Wendy's go to Neverland, and this girl called Emma goes through the wrong place and sets up this cosmic chain of events that may lead to the destruction of the universe.
Okay.
Generally, it's basically adventures and fairy tales, a bit of like magical conspiracy, and fun, interesting female characters and stuff like that.
Okay. And where did the inspiration for names being so important come from, if you don't mind me asking?
It actually came from a parody comic I did. I kind of did this parody of The Wizard of Oz, and then randomly I just made a drawing that would be like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to be cast with like all the female-ish leads of fairy tales, and then eventually, I can't remember, it's from talking to people and just doing random sketches that the idea came up. And I was kind of like, maybe I should do something with this, and my friend Megan, who's now my co-writer, was like, no, you should do something with this.
Right.
And I said, well, fine, if you want me to do it, I'm dragging you down with me.
That's how great collaborations get started.
Yeah, it's like, you want me to do this, you'll suffer with me. It's combined suffering.
So is the webcomic full color, or is it spot color like it is in the printed edition?
It's mostly spot color.
Okay.
The idea behind spot color at first was like a time-saving thing, and also because I wasn't exactly at easy color. It doesn't look like it, but the webcomic is actually inked by hand with a brush.
Okay.
And the colors are added digitally, and I've always kind of worked in black and white. If you can see with the other comics I have, it's mostly the older stuff I have is black and white. And very strong contrast and stuff, so I was not comfortable with color, not even a little bit. So at first the spot color started as this a bit of laziness, like it was a time issue, it was also a comfort issue, and then at some point it just became a style. After 4 chapters it could be, oh, I can handle color now, but I kind of like the effect
Yeah, it's how it was built from the beginning, and the great thing about webcomics is you can change it in the middle of the book, but that doesn't mean you necessarily want to, just because you can.
At that point it's kind of like, no, we can do more interesting stuff with this, and a lot of people actually got attached to the spot colors, and were like, oh,
yeah, I've seen some great examples of spot color being used to emphasize ideas or the story, and really just to obviously draw attention to specific things. There are other means of doing that, but spot color makes it quite easy.
And it's fun also that colors can be associated with things like red is sort of associated with the bad guys, and blue is sort of associated with the namesake, so you can use that to underline things.
Definitely. So what has been your experience with the webcomic? How long have you been working on it? How have you built your community over time?
The comic itself for years, but like preparation, a couple of years before that too.
Okay.
Preparation started when I was at university, so I didn't really want to start, and so we had time to polish up the story.
Behind the scenes, it talks about the making of Sister.
Generally, if I have to say anything about it, is that it gets easier with time.
Catholic school in Rome, Italy.
Right.
And I was.
And
you're not really sure what you're doing, but eventually you're like, I got this. And you hope you're doing something that's interesting, but then you get reader feedback that it is, so you're like, yay, I guess.
And even the nuns.
and when you decided to produce physical copies of the comic, was that something that was drawn by or requested by the fans, or you just decided you wanted to go to conventions and you wanted to have something for people to actually buy? So
A little bit of both, I think.
Okay.
Like, part of it was the fans, and then the other part was kind of like, because the work itself is about love of books, then it would have to be a book eventually.
it does make sense.
It's kind of like, it's about books, people going through book story that are kept in books, and it's just like,
It was only done with the one half.
it seemed like a natural ending to it, and because it's long form, it makes it easier as a book as well for a lot of people. So
I was only here for an hour yesterday.
Yeah.
I can't remember why we decided we were doing a book. It just happened.
I think it's a natural progression of a lot of webcomics. Right.
I guess.
Sushi Gabriel.
Yeah, people were asking us for books to do for soft covers.
I actually drew that at a sushi restaurant. And then I was like, hey, that's not bad. Maybe I'll actually.
Of course. That's the way comics are born. They just come about. No, but so Namesake is an ongoing series. Do you have the? Well, I guess I should be asking Megan questions about the writing. But
We both do the writing, but
oh, okay.
the writing is the art is me, the writing is both of us, and
Okay.
the website design, book design, website management is all Megan.
And I do the letter.
Yeah, she does.
Oh,
the letter.
great.
So she's like a ninja.
And
I nearly beat somebody's with a bookmark earlier. Ninja bookmark.
the book is self-published.
Yes.
Okay, and you
Kickstarter.
oh, that's great. Yeah,
We have 2 successful Kickstarters.
one for each of the 2 books.
Yes.
All right. And what service did you go with that allowed you to print both a hard copy and a perfect bound copy?
This is Crossblue. 2 people we've used to print stuff is Crossblue and Print Ninja mostly for the small comics.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, obviously this will be different from artist to artist, but do you find that it's, I guess, worth it is the right word to say, to print both a hardcover copy and a perfect bound copy? How many people are interested in spending the extra money to get a perfect bound?
I think if you're going to do a hardcover, it has to have a little something more. We had fun, especially with the design. Like the normal copies are just a medallion with a character, but the hardcovers are actually like this full.
And the hardcovers are limited. We're only doing 500 copies of each hardcover, whereas the softcovers will go back to the press store. The hardcovers will not.
Right. So hardcover is basically a collectible edition of the book, and maybe some libraries will have them as well.
We do have some library supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically it's worth it if people ask for it and kind of make it special. Otherwise,
Right. So listen to your fans if they have interest in a hard copy, go for it. Otherwise, perfect bound is
published,
good.
like our friend Elena, that's right next to us, she published directly hardcover.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends what the band is or what you want to do. Like we already had the soft covers, so the hardcovers was a bonus. If you want to do hardcovers, you should start with that. Like you shouldn't have several editions. We started with soft cover because yeah, it was a cost thing.
Right.
So we had to make our hardcovers special to make it worth it. I think it depends how you start. If you start with hardcovers, then that's what the fans are gonna want. But if you don't, then it's like it's a special edition thing.
But
Yeah.
I found really interesting was with our second Kickstarter. Hardcovers were introduced about 3 days before the end of the Kickstarter, and we had a lot of repeat customers who had previously bought volume 1 the previous year. They
Yeah.
repurchased the entire series of hardcovers.
Wow.
That's how
Because there was that much extra content. Yeah.
I think people like pretty covers. It's kind of like they have new editions of older books with like this really fancy
Yeah.
covers.
Like how many editions of Bone are there out by now?
Yeah.
Who can say?
But Bone is actually also a change publisher, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm thinking about stuff like The Hobbit has 15 versions,
Yeah.
and they're all beautiful. But I guess it's a collector thing, maybe.
Okay. I'd love to talk to Megan about the writing. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So I was asking earlier, is Namesake a continual sort of story, or do you have the ending specifically written out?
We have, before the story began, we sat down and did what we termed the retcon. We have roughly, I think it's now down to what, 7 or 8 arcs.
Okay.
We do have an ending. It's not going to be for several more years. We're in the middle of book 4. We estimate there's going to be 10 books, so there's at least 6 more years of comics.
Right.
But we definitely
And you're
made sure
interested?
we definitely made sure we had an ending in mind. It might work. It depends on where the characters take us. We're not going to do How I Met Your Mother's end.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't asking if it was going to go on forever, but some people haven't necessarily written out like the entire story before they started.
We do have an outline. We do know where the characters are going to end up, and we do have an ending. And how we get there, sometimes it's going to develop as the characters develop differently. But the ending is pretty much it's set, but it's not in place.
Right. So it seems like you were kind of designing the story around these arcs so that they could be released in a book form. Were you going to release in a book from the beginning, or is that just a natural way that you wanted to go about writing it?
It was just a natural way. We knew we wanted to do this in chapters. We didn't do the book breakdown. You know, when we did book 1, it was at the time we were in chapter 7, so we just did the first 5 chapters. We felt 144 pages was pretty good. And so now we're pretty committed to that structure where each book is going to have 5 chapters.
Right. So, in terms of the writing process, how has it changed over time? You've been doing Namesake for a couple of years now, correct?
We've been doing Namesake. We started doing the first drafts of the script in 2009 and we published in 2010.
Right.
Originally, the first scripts I gave Isa were all prose. My background is prose writing. Through Isa, I've learned how to write. I write in marker format, so it's more like plot first, dialogue, and then I let Isa decide on the paneling and how she's going to cut the pages.
But you know the sort of pacing that needs to be done, and you know how to formulate accents into thumbnails, essentially, even if you're not drawing them yourself.
Yeah, Isa is very, very good with the action. Sometimes if we approach an action scene, like right now we're in a huge action scene, and Isa takes the lead on that, and I come back in and add in the dialogue. Other times, it starts with the script. I send the script to Isa. She does blue sketch pages. I put the pages and usually tell her, okay, I'm going to do this with the dialogue and this with the dialogue. She inks and colors. She hand inks the pages and digital colors. And then she gives them back to me for lettering. I letter and do the final version of the script.
And you're digitally lettering it, or you're writing
Digitally
it?
lettering it. I do it in Adobe InDesign, and how I do it is that I'm laying out the book at the same time. So I lay out the pages as I'm going to lay them out in the book, take that page and put it in another document and export it for the web. That way it's just you're doing it all at once.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to advertise at you guys' conventions you're going to be going to in the future, or where can we find Namesake, for instance?
Namasake's at NamasakeComics.com. We have a short comic, a 16-page comic coming out at TCAF called Silver Button.
Okay.
It's a modern version of a Quebecois folktale. It's actually not been written down. You guys can really find it in written down versions of it. So part of it is the comic, and it's a modern fantasy version of it. And then the final pages is the original oral tale as told to me, and I wrote it down.
Okay.
And so it's my interpretation of that. So it's actually the first time my own prose without seeing through the lens of Isa's expectation.
Right, and that's going to be debuting at TCAF this year?
Yes, it's going to be debuting at TCAF. And in this fall, we're going to be starting another long-form comic called Quibbling. And how much have you
It's cool. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, and what's the web address to find Namesake?
NamasakeComic.com.
Okay, that's simple enough. Well, thank you very much for the interview. Is there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
All right, well, I hope you had a good MoCCA Fest.
Thank you. I hope you guys did